Welcome to my newest project. We're going to call this one Ryan's Tree. My customer has asked me to create this memorial cross for his nephew who recently passed away, and we're going to get to use just about everything I've got in the shop. We're going to use the table saw to trim the board to width and length. We're going to also use the table saw to create some half lap joints. We're going to use the laser for layout, and then of course we'll do some wood carving with the routers. And then we're going to do something I've never done before, but I took a class on this weekend. We're going to do some resin pouring. So if you would, stick around. When we come right back, we'll get started. All right, we got the table saw outside. We don't have it raised up high enough to do any work yet, but first thing we need to do is we want to look at the board and decide, because this is 5 3/4 wide, and I want to finish at 5 1/2, so I've got to do a little trimming, and we have to decide which side do we want to sacrifice. Do we want to sacrifice the white over here or the white over here? And you look at both sides of the board and you look at the pattern and you see this board is pretty which either way I want to go. But I think what I'm going to do, because I've got bigger knots on this end and on this end, I think I'm going to take just a real light skim pass right here, and then I'll take the rest of the material off on this side right here, and we'll remove as much of these knots as we can. That's still going to leave us some really nice board to work with, and I think it's going to be a really good looking board when we get through with it. So I'm going to go ahead and bring out the cross-cut fence, or rip fence as they call it. And what I want to do is get the board in here. We'll bring the saw up. Okay, and then I'm just going to touch it up right there. So then I'll look, and all I want to do is take a little bit off of it. So I'm going to take that measurement right there, and then because I really want to be as precise as possible, I'm going to take and make sure I got a measurement on the back side of the fence, and I'm looking at 8 7/8. 8 7/8, so the fence is set good and square. So got the blade just a little bit high. Let's back it down a little bit right there. You don't want that blade sticking up real high. So again, we decided we're going to take just a light pass off of this side. Nope, off of this side. I'm sorry, I almost had it backwards. We're going to take it off this side. Then we'll take this side, it'll be true up against the fence, and we'll take the finished cut there. So here we go. You know what? We are, I took a little bit more off than I realized, and we are exactly where I want to be in the width all the way down. So, hey, we just saved ourselves a step. We still have a little bit of the knot there, but that's okay. I will use some CA glue, and we'll glue these knots in so we don't lose them in the process. So, we've got the board down to the 5 1/2 dimensions. So, I need to cut 2 pieces. I got to finish. Again, I got my drawing hanging up here at 36 long and 24 long. So let me come in here and get another little rip fence I need. And then we'll get this one out of the way. Okay. So, all right. So the next thing I want to do is I want to check and make sure that this fence is square to the table. Let me get a square right quick. So here again, this is where I say, do as I say, not as I do. I should have had this already set up out there. And I know we're good there, so we're all set to go. So let's check on this side over here because I'll be using it from both sides, most likely. And we're good and square. So what I'm doing there, I'm not checking. You notice I did not check it against the saw blade. That saw blade, even though I know it's a good blade, may or may not be exactly flat and square, perpendicular. But I know these rails, they're machined in, I know they are. So that's the reason I did that. So the next thing I want to do, again, I don't have all the stuff I need out here with me. I just flat didn't think, even though I told y'all to do it, I didn't think about bringing all this stuff out here. So let's go this route. So because I've got the blade where I want, I'm going to take the starter key out. I cannot start that saw with that key out. So, all right, we're going to go a little more than 24 inches long on this first cut. We're going to go about 24 and a half. Okay. All right. And then this side over here, we're going to have a 36-inch cut. So we'll go about 36 and a half on that cut right there. And then that's going to allow us to come back and finish to the exact length that we want. So we'll end up with this scrap piece in the middle, and that's not a scrap piece. I can make something with it, so that's not a big deal. We haven't lost anything. So we'll get this lined up about where we want it, right there. We'll put the starter key back in, and now we can crank it out. So here we go. All right, now we're going to do this one. All right, keys out so I can take measurements. So we know we're a little bit long. Got a nice smooth cut right there. So we're going to take the 24 inches off this end over here. And you're probably asking, well, why didn't I just cut it at 24? It's because I needed a good smooth cut on one end, and I wanted to end up with another good smooth cut on the opposite end. So that's the reason why I did that. So we'll do that on the 24, then we'll turn around and do the same thing on the 36-inch piece. And then we will have our boards cut to the length we're looking for. And then we can proceed on with the half lap joint. So here we go. We're going to sneak up into it. And by that, I mean, I'm going to take the blade and I'm going to purposely start out this way. And I'll work up until I'm taking out just that edge of that line. So here we go. Not quite. There we go. We are exactly 24 inches, so that's what we wanted on that one. So put this one to the side right here. Now we're going to do the same thing with the 36-inch. Again, we'll take the key out so we can't start the blade. So this is the end I want to cut it from. This was a cut in. So we want to go 36 inches from this end. So we'll come up here. We've got 36 right there. Okay. Okay. Got that marked. God, it's a beautiful day out here. I really, really love this time of year. So, all right, we're going to put the key back in. We're going to take the finishing cut the same way we did on the other one. We'll sneak up into it. And that way we'll have precisely the lengths we're looking for. So, here we go. Let's take a measurement. We are 36 on the money, all the way across a good square cut. So that's what we're looking for. So remove the key. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get set up for the half lap joint. I've got to change the blade out, and I'm going to use a dado stack blade. It has a good flat top. It's going to give me the finish I need to make those joints work out fine. So when I come back, I'll show you the dado blade already set up in the saw, and then I'll also show you how we determine the thickness that we need to cut each piece. So hang on, we'll be right back. Okay, this is my dado stack blades, and I'm just using the outer two blades. I could have set this dado stack up to take the majority of the cut at one time, but I want to be able to use my fence, my clearance guide right here to make sure I get good cuts. So what I want to do, like I said, I'm just going to use the outer two, and those are going to give me about a 1/4 inch wide cut per pass. So what I've done is I've brought my drawing over here, and I've got to have 9 1/4 inches from the two outside edges. So I'm going to measure 9 1/4 inches. And by the way, I love this tape measure. It's a righty lefty. I can use it. I can measure from here 9 1/4. I can read 9 1/4 from here. It's made by Fast Cap. I absolutely love this thing. So we want 9 1/4 inches, and that is right there. Okay. And again, not only is my key out, but my saw was also unplugged when I was changing out the dado stack. I just wanted to be extra careful because I do work by myself, so I can't take the chances. So now, come back over here, and we will mark the 9 1/4 here, right there. Okay, right there. All right, so that should give me 5 1/2 inches in the center. Now I can put my guard back in, and as you can see, my blade spins, does not hit the guard, so we're good. We're safe there. That's what I want. If I were using a wider dado stack that I had to use, what I would do is I would just fill this whole area with masking tape, thick grades of masking tape, several pieces of it, and then bring the saw up through it and let it give me a 0 clearance. So I'm going to take the drawing back, hang it back on the wall, out of the way, and get the guide up. And we'll get a cross fence set back. So now we have to figure out how high do we want this blade to stick up, because we're going to be removing exactly half of the thickness of this board. So this board is 7/8 of an inch thick. So half of 7/8 is 7/16. So we need the top of this blade to be 7/16 of an inch tall. So put it right there. You need to bring it down just a little bit. So, and I am actually going to go a little bit below it. I'm actually going to go in at about 3/8 of an inch. Because again, I can take off what I got, but I can't put back what I don't. So, we're going to set this up. Now, one thing I want to do that I didn't do is I want to continue these with these marks on this side of the board over here. It gives me a spot to work up to. I don't want to go beyond. So now I've got marks to start with, and we'll let's put the blade on this side, the fence on this side. So we'll start here, and I'm even though, like I said, I put that mark 1/8 of an inch inside where I want to actually finish, and even though I know we've got to come out even more, I don't want to start right on that edge. I'd rather have to come in and clean it up and get the precise fit that I want. So we're going to start a little bit off of it right there, and we'll take this cut all the way through. Here we go. After I plug in the machine and put my key back in. So got it plugged in. Now we'll put the key in. Okay, back off. Here we go. Okay, what I've done now is I've made the first pass here. I want to measure. We are right about 7/16 deep, so we're where we want to be. Okay, so we're going to go with it. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over on this side, and I'm going to take me a cleanup right here. That way I can work in the center, and I don't have to worry about am I going too far one way or the other. So here we go. All right. We're going to use this little piece right here for a test. And as we can see, because we know that this is 5.5 wide, and we can see that we're not going to fit in there just yet. We actually have about 1/4 of an inch. So that means we're going to take 1/8 of an inch off on each side because we want to keep this right in the center. So we're going to take about 1/8 of an inch off of each side. And that is just let me mark it. Make sure I mark it. What to do with my pencil? Here it is. There we go. All right, so 1/8 of an inch right there. No, right there. There we go. And we're going to take 1/8 of an inch off right there. Okay, so okay, so we've got our marks. So the next thing we're going to do is ease into them. And again, I'm actually going to stay just a little bit off of it because I can take my chisels and pare it and get it cleaned up right there. So we're going to stay a little bit off of it. So here we go. Right. And I made a mistake. I took too much. So as you can see, doesn't fit. So that means I go to my storage unit, I get another piece of cedar, and we'll fix it. So we'll be right back. Well, all right. I lucked out. I had another piece of wood here in my shop, so I didn't have to go to my storage unit. And so what we're going to do is go ahead and remove this material. We've got it down to the 24 inches. I've got my 9.5 inch marks here. I've got my witness marks down here and here. Again, we're going to run inside those witness marks. We can pair them up and clean them up with a chisel if we need to. So here we go. We're going to start with it. And again, my key is out, so not to worry. Let me get my fence. Like I said, not to worry. I'm not going to injure myself. I'm away from my board. I mean, away from my blade, and it's not going to start. So I've got a mark right there. Pretty close. So here we go. Okay, as you can see, that's a pretty tight fit. And so I think what I'm going to do is just when I get ready to do my final fits and stuff, I'll come back here and I'll pair this off with a chisel if I need to, or I might be able to do it just by sanding the opposing board, because this is really a good tight fit, and it won't take much to sand it off and get it in there. So anyway, we got the first cross piece done, so I'm really pleased with what we got. So hang on, I'll come back and we'll be working on the 36 inch long piece. Be right back. All right, while taking breaks, I do my editing, and this video is going to be a little bit long from the day, especially since I had my mistake. And at Pop's Custom Signs, I don't hide my mistakes. I show you when I do something wrong, I show you how I fix it. So I had a problem. I mismeasured, and I cut that first half lap joint too wide. So we've recovered. That's what matters. So anyway, this video is getting a little long, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this video number 1. And when I pick back up in video number 2, I will be cutting the half lap joint in the upright piece of the cross. And after that, then we can probably go ahead and get started on the layout with the laser. So I want to thank everyone for following me along. I appreciate it. If you would like, subscribe, and share my video and my channel with your family and friends. It really would help me out. And so until next time, hug all your family and friends. Let them know you love them. And God bless.